Hey everyone, what's going on? It's your boy Krebsy Crypto, and for today's video, we're taking a look at this article that talks about Canada has declared a local war on Bitcoin mining. And the reason why I'm going over this article is obviously if you've been following my channel for a bit, I'm based in Canada, I'm in Ontario, Canada. So this may have an impact on myself and others that are viewing my channel that are in Canada. But I believe this is more directed towards the big mining corporations and things of the sort, and mining farms, and if you are a big miner yourself. So this is just something that the Canadian government has been doing. They're going around implementing regulations even more than like what has been previously implemented. And this hasn't been brought up too much as far as I've noticed. I just came across it, even though it was a bit old. It came out on January 4th, and we are on January 25th. But that goes to show that like it hasn't been pushed out enough, because this has a big impact if people are planning to come over to Canada and have like a big mining farm or big mining rigs. So it's good that I found it so I can bring it to you guys' attention, even if it doesn't get many views of the sort, even if someone just that is viewing my channels in Canada and this helps you, or you can share it, and just to get it out there a little more, just in case, it affects something you're doing yourself or someone you know in the mining industry in Canada. So we'll just go over this article quickly. We'll just go over some key points about it. And if you want to give it a full read yourself, the link will be in the description if you want to go and check it out. So North America became the leading hub of Bitcoin mining activity after China's abrupt ban in May of 2021. While the United States has grabbed most of the news headlines and a significant portion of investor attention, Canada has also solidified its role as a global leader in mining. From industrial mining farms to off-grid mining operations, Canada is home to miners of all stripes. But the final months of 2022 saw several provinces target Bitcoin miners and suspend any new grid connections, while environmental assessments in quotations were initiated, kind of rippling across most provinces. So it's going like out east to out west, kind of hitting closer to Ontario. I don't believe it's really implemented into Ontario yet, but so far it is rippling across Canada. So we'll go over each province's mining regulation in quotations to see what they're kind of proposing and what's going on and how they're restricting Bitcoin miners even more. So I just wanted to bring this to people's attention, like I mentioned at the start of the video, just so you guys are aware, even my Canadian viewers, that a lot of people did come over from other countries to start mining in Canada, and we were kind of like a main hub for it. But all of a sudden now they've implemented regulation after regulation, and it's affecting these bigger corporations, or even people with bigger farms, or people that are mining at a bigger scale than like myself and your average home miner. So it's just good to bring this to the attention and to the light. So let's quickly touch on each mining regulation and going across Canada here. In late 2022, Hydro-Quebec announced its proposal for the province to stop selling cheap power to cryptocurrency miners. So in Quebec, you're not allowed to sell cheap power to us miners anymore. As reported by the Wall Street Journal, the proposal called for the Canada Energy Regulator to suspend the allocation of 270 megawatts requested by cryptocurrency miners. This new proposal could make mining in the province even harder, which is true because now you have to compete, or you have to pay like a higher price for hydro, which is going to affect your profit margin, which is going to deter people out of Quebec for mining in a sense, because most of the time when Bitcoin miners were coming over to Canada, once China did have it banned, we were selling cheaper power to a lot of these cryptocurrency miners to kind of get them over here and start this like cryptocurrency shift. But now all of a sudden we're cutting back and doing regulations and such. So it's kind of reversed, and it's going to drive a lot of these people that came over here out of here, and it's not going to allow for newer people to come in. Right after Thanksgiving, Manitoba announced its plans to halt any new electric grid connections for cryptocurrency mining operation. The suspension will last 18 months from November 2022 to allow for a review of the externalities from the mining industry's energy demands. According to the province's finance minister, the 37 currently operating mining facilities in Manitoba will not be affected for now. So the current mining facilities in Manitoba are not going to be affected for now. I love how they say that though, are not going to be affected for now. So obviously they have some plan to affect them in some way, shape, or form. But any recent requests by new companies trying to come into Manitoba have been suspended because apparently they're doing a review for the energy demands and externalities for the mining industry and things like that, which kind of all of a sudden comes out of nowhere when all of these other provinces are doing the same type of thing. So obviously it's like a planned thing, and they're trying to clearly either crack down on Bitcoin mining, or they're actually just kind of reviewing things to either make things better, which I would highly like doubt. But I feel like it's a way for them to go in and kind of reevaluate what they're doing. So like, for example, in Quebec with the cheap power, I feel like they're going to go in and all of a sudden blame something like the inflation, and they have to up the power costs. And then same with something in Manitoba, they're going to say, oh, this is demanding too much energy, you have to pay more money to get into here, or something of the sort. So there's always going to be some downfall, or some whenever there's an upside, there's going to be a downside. But even if there's a downside, there could be more downsides, because you never know with the government and things of the sort. So it's not a good look for Canada in a sense if you are wanting to accept crypto miners or get new people involved in it. You adding all these regulations and confusing ones, and more and more and more, because there's even other ones that haven't been talked about as much in the media, but these are the most recent ones that are coming out. And then just before Christmas, British Columbia made headlines for its efforts to stop mining growth, to assess the environmental impacts of cryptocurrency mining operations. An 18-month moratorium, I think that is, has been placed on accepting any new requests for electrical grid connections exclusively from Bitcoin mining companies. So they're placing a temporary hold on any new requests pretty much for electrical grid connections for Bitcoin mining companies, though, not anything else, which is because they always talk about, oh, there's environmental impact on Bitcoin mining and all this energy used. Meanwhile, banks and other companies are using way more power and have a way more effect than Bitcoin miners on the environment itself. So this is kind of just pointing the finger and nitpicking, and just making it harder for cryptocurrency and Bitcoin and things of the sort to be accepted and regulated. The province said at the time that 21 applications that were pending approval have been suspended, assessing how Bitcoin mining affects the province's environmental goals in quotations. It stated that reasons for BC's 18-month suspension. So apparently Bitcoin mining, just Bitcoin mining, not anything else, is having effect on the environmental goals in quotations. So they suspended any new applications, and this is why they're going over like the environmental impacts of cryptocurrency mining in their province, because it's affecting their environmental goals. When there's other pollutions, there's other big companies using more electricity than what Bitcoin mining does. So before these grid connection limitations, Canada had long stood as a global hub for cryptocurrency growth generally, and Bitcoin mining activity in particular, with a loose estimate of 7% of the global hash rate operating within its borders. So within Canada, 7% of the global hash rate for Bitcoin happens here. But several localities are starting to make miners feel not so welcome. So all these places are starting to put even more regulations on top of other regulations, and it's just making it hard to get into mining within Canada at a large scale. And it's just making it so you're not cutting a profit. It's disallowing new people to join in because of the environmental impact and things of the sort. So I'll probably just leave it at that for this article. I just kind of want to touch on these few things and just bring it to light so people understand what's going on. And it does get, like, there's more to this article if you want to read it. It is a good read. It kind of goes a little more political and other things near the end, so it kind of touches on about what the government's doing, their plans, and like how they view their stance and things like that. I just don't want to bring the political side over onto the YouTube and read about that and read about like our government leaders and such. I just wanted to touch on the main points and how they're restricting more of the mining just for their own purpose, even though there's other much worse things going on that are using more power, doing more damage to the environment than what cryptocurrency mining is, and just how people think it's such a bad thing when in reality it's not. It's just they want you to think that. So now all these new laws and things are starting to come into play. And it's unfortunate to see, because I had high hopes for Canada being like a relaxed place to set up mining and being a fair place to actually mine, with them being accepting. So hopefully something turns out about this and they're actually just doing like kind of like an investigation, and hopefully they don't go and jack up rates for these crypto miners and things like that for their hydro rates and things of the sort. Hopefully this all just makes it so they realize that there's not so much of an environmental impact. But we all know that's very unlikely to happen. That's just another side to it. But that's all I really got for you guys today. I just want to touch on this. But yeah, that's pretty well all I got for you guys today. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, as it lets me know you guys are enjoying it. But I hope you all have an amazing day. And this is Krebsy Crypto signing out.